I was on the path, met him, so fuck it, had a conversation, we decided to record it. So this is what we're going to try to talk about from this point. So you asked me a particular question just now, and I was going to go into the Big Bang Theory. What was the question, you can remember?
So I asked you specifically about numerology, about how there's different base numbers based off of different bases. So like base 10, base 60. Yeah. And I was asking you, so specifically for numerology, how can you determine, how to use which number system, based on, and then you were saying, if we're getting different interpretations from one thing, then that thing must be the right thing.
Right. If we're getting the same interpretation from multiple ways of getting the information, right? I could sing a song to describe something. You could write a poem to describe something. I could use a mathematical equation to describe something. Mm-hmm. We're all taking a different route to get to that same description, right? So you were like, but how do we know it's the truth? So I can't remember what your particular question was that made me want to respond with the Big Bang Theory, right? So I wanted you to imagine the Big Bang Theory, right? And then rewind it, slowly bringing it back in. Right before you see that, right before it turns into whatever it was that's about to explode, but right when you can see all the spikes of the explosion going in infinite directions. These is millions, billions of particles about to be shattered throughout the universe in infinite direction, in whichever it came from this original point. And that trajectory of that particle, that's its truth. It knows no other way. But when it rewinds, it's going to get that same original point. But at this extreme of it, when you fast forward it, and it's back to the extreme of where it's at, and you way over there from your infinite course from way over there, and this is your truth. This is your poem to this same truth. And now we here at this level where we could talk from you. Yo, what you see over there? Oh, I see this. It's like, that's amazing because I'm seeing something similar. How do I know that this is the truth? So then we start doing math and science and theories and all this shit come into it. And as we and you at the bottom rung of it, we didn't go through no initiation, bro. We not special in their eyes, and maybe we will buy their lives. You see what I'm saying? So now this is where the confusion will start, because we won't have the same meaning. Now, when you go to a math class, right? 1 + 1 is 2. And we teach that to 30 kids. And 30 kids walk out the room. There's not one kid that's going to go, well, that's not the way I heard it. I think if I bring the 1 and 1 together, I can get 11. Right? You're like, nah, that's not, you're tripping. Like, you see what I'm saying? But now we go in a religious setting. We're talking about God. You come out there and you say, well, that's not the way I took it. I think it means this. You're like, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Now you got your independent truth. That's not the way it's supposed to be going when you're trying to get right. You shouldn't never be that wobbly. Right, and there you go. But they set it up like that because the true essence of God is in unity. You see what I'm saying? God is not this big grand thing we looking for. He's a microscopic agreement with microscopic stuff, bro. That's where, I was meditating one day and somebody asked me, so what do you think Elon and them doing out in space? And I asked myself, like in my meditative state, like, what is they doing up there? And it said it's not about outer space, it's about inner space. And that just answers so many questions for me, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I said, well, what are they doing then? And it said it said for them, it's about how long they can write their name down. This is what's coming to me, bro. So now I gotta say, what does that mean? I gotta make it make sense to you, because when it answered me, it was like, and it hit so many columns. Right? You know what I mean? I got it. But now when I tell you, you're like, what does that mean to you? Now it's interpretation to you now. You know what I mean?
By that, do you mean that he is trying to write his legacy?
Right.
Is trying to ingrain his name into time?
Yes.
Humans have found that if you write, you can immortalize.
Yeah. So. You touch it on your own. And that's just you, once again, uninitiated, with no billions, with no influence, thinking like that. And that's just you, poor you, with the little bit of imagination you got based off your financial allowance. So now you got unlimited resources. That just changes the way you think now. Boom, you got, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you, get me this, write this down. You, make this happen. That's not the one I like. You're fired. You watching people get fired, you're like, I want this done. And people like, okay. And then like, now you do it. Now everybody in here shadowing doing it. And then I come out. I got a new car, a new vehicle. So it's called this. I got a new currency. It's an agreement. The currency is an agreement by the big people that's trying to topple the government. In between that is us who's, man. And we're going to immortalize him, bro. The immortalization, here it goes, right? Here's what it is, bro. Julius Augustus Caesar. When he was a mortal man, walking the earth, what he was trying to do couldn't have been done because it was other, I like to talk colorful, right? Just to make people listen. There was other dicks around. So people's not gonna let you put yours up in the sky. Like, oh, we're not doing that. See, what? Get out of here. So he had to project it, put himself in areas where it can be projected, and then whoever had the power after that implemented it. You understand what I'm saying to you? So now Julius Augustus Caesar is immortal because he put his name in our calendar. Yeah. And he shifted the months.
He changed the entire calendar.
Everything. Now, once that has changed, he put himself between you and the given. You and that, remember you said it earlier, whatever, everything is here, God made, everything else man-made. He put himself in between you and that given, altering your clock. Man, you would never be on schedule. Man, why was it so important for him to do that? Man, you see what I'm saying? No, it's different when you reacted to it. But while you are the one doing it, what is the purpose? And now, if you was living, he wouldn't have said, oh, we're going to call this Augustus and Julius. He's in there twice. Yeah. Julius Augustus. So you get July and August. So he just shifted 2 things. And you got December, meaning 10. You got Oct, meaning 8. So these is off where they supposed to be sitting in. These got pushed out their seat. Everything is off. Everything is wrong. Your incarnations, your invotations, everything is wrong because that pink dick is up in the sky dictating what time you think it is.
But the Julian calendar was the base that Julius Caesar used in the Roman Empire. But then his calendar got changed to the Gregorian calendar, which is the calendar that we use today.
Nonetheless, his name is still in the calendar today, though.
No, for sure.
So
but I'm just saying,
where did it get truth? Where did the truth come in at?
That's what I want to know too, because if you look at China has lunisolar calendars. Mm-hmm. You look at the Hebrews and the Jews, and they have the Arabs and the Jews, and the Muslims and the Jews, and they have lunar calendars. Right. Because that's what our ancestors were used to. They were used to seeing the entire sky with all the stars, and what's call it? The names of the gods are based off of celestial bodies. Right. You know what I mean? Because that's what we observed was this expanse of unknown.
There you go. All right. When we talked about if you can imagine it, it can imagine you. So if you can observe it, is it observing you?
That's a good question. Because if you say that, if you go by that logic, there's an infinite possibility of things that can imagine you, and you can imagine it. So it's like because imagination is the first step to creation, right? Right. So before that, right? A question could be asked where is it coming from?
Right.
Is it coming from your aggregation of knowledge? You know what I mean? Your collective experience. That's is that why we read stuff that we already have so that we can get new ideas from old things? You know what I mean? Or is it coming from something else?
I would say both, right? Because obviously you're reading stuff, right? And now,
but even reading stuff is outside information.
It is, but it's still landing on one common spot, which is you, right? So the other part now. On one of my other videos is this you. Again, I'm telling you, I'm trying to describe the voice that whispers. In the Bible, they called it the serpent. In the original text, it was called a whisperer. It whispered in her ear. It was a thought she had that manifested into reality. But they are lying to you about making it a serpent because of the energy in which the thought was coming from. You see what I'm saying? So now you got to understand these principles, because these get shattered into your entertainment and get shattered into your backdrop. inaccurate matrix. You see what I'm saying? And then when you see it, you're like, oh, they sneaky, and you can just do your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you become your own snake charmer. You see what I'm saying? But once you don't know how to do it, you always be, I got bit. What the fuck? But you ain't charming it. You feel what I'm saying? So you're off. So it was a whisperer, a suggestion. It was a thought, and it comes from the foods. It comes from our environment, and especially the foods that go into you. This is why fasting is vital, because what you're doing now is shutting down the man part of you to strengthen the spirit part of you. So now when you wean out those toxins, your body has no obligation to nothing. So now it's going to fold in on itself. Bloop, and it's going to be the realest you ever going to have, which you like, bong, because you didn't, nigga, we not eating, we not doing this. All right, what's up? What you trying to see? What you trying to do? What you trying, because you ain't catering to none of the weak shit that we here to do. So you must be, you trying to go upstairs. You see what I'm saying? But once you cater to all your lower chakras, them the ones that's going to keep operating. And they gonna keep making you do shit for it. Ooh, them new sneakers. Ooh, new this. Ooh, look at that girl. Right, it's gonna keep right. But once you abstain from them, what's gonna come to mind when you're not catering to? Ooh, look at that girl, and you run behind it. But if you're not, that thought is not even is there now. It's not getting catered to, so it gets weaker. But something now has to replace it. Boom. What replaces it? Then who's controlling the replacement? And then this is where you get some form of control in the matrix, and it goes down into those not catering to necessarily your things to strengthen your spiritual connection towards that which is communicating with you. When you have a clean diet, you have those same resonators coming in there. But don't mind you, I tell you, in the folding of the matrix, you will always find that little white hand interrupting it for his own duty. So they corrupted everything. The food is fucked up. The dirt that food comes from is fucked up because they seen to it. They seen to it. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is not by some other. That's what it was done to do. You see what I'm saying? To cripple farmers, so that we got to keep coming here. And then the farmers is going like, oh, what the fuck happened? You sold me this, and now the land is done. One turn, one season, and they created something that makes one season, and then he dies. So now it's not like you. That's why they took the seeds out the food. So you gotta keep coming to us for the food.
Seedless grace.
Right? Is this man? You rely on the matrix makers for what sustains you. And now you thinking you having a holistic diet and looking for these good holistic cues to come out of it, but he already done jabbed it up, and now you're getting different joints. And if you, just like whenever you take in, it gives you something back. Right? You're smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, you drink caffeine, any type of drug you put inside of your matrix will now your matrix will now react to that activation that's in the matrix till it weans itself out. While it's in there, it's going to be beckoning, do it again, smoke me some more. Go get you another cheeseburger. Why they on sale? Get you them new sneakers to double up. They gonna make you cater to this shit. And it's gonna be a thought. I feel like a new person today. You never question that shit. That's what I'm saying. So why you ain't questioning why the fuck you want to smoke a cigarette when you never smoked a cigarette? What make you say that? Let me try that. Because the backdrop has some people that look cool, riding camels and riding horses and shit. Howdy, man. Killing somebody, wow, and blow the smoke with the smoke and all that. Now you're like, ooh, the gun, the cigarette, ooh, I want it in. And then they steal your son just like that. How many kids we know doing life in jail behind what? Some fake ass cowboy, some fake ass rapper, some fake. None of this shit that comes with it is there with it. And then so unfair. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm hearing a lot of like concepts that I have thought about myself, like, and I notice this on a regular basis. Like, I smoke weed, but it's like the only thing that I do. You know, I drink socially with my friends here and there, but I've never gotten like inebriated, because especially after, like I said, like I woke up earlier this year, I started to notice the changes of the foods that I like. If I would eat good, I would feel good. If I eat bad, I would feel bad. So I wouldn't necessarily look at a food now. But so before I would look at a food and be like, oh, that looks so good, like I'm just gonna eat it because I want it. Right. Now I'm looking at the food and I'm like, am I gonna feel good after I eat that? Right. Am I gonna feel bad after I eat that? And that's more like the determining factor. And it goes turn and turn where it's like, if you eat something bad, you're more likely to do something bad. Right. Like if you went out to drink last night, right? you're most likely to indulge in like bacon, fried shit, like in the morning time, because it's
salt,
just,
definitely,
because you crave that shit when you're drunk, and so it's bad for you, and you know it's bad for you because you're not gonna feel good afterwards, but it tastes good, and it's like that pleasureful in the moment. But it's the same thing with good stuff too, right? Like if you eat healthy and you start feeling better, you're more energized. Oh, maybe I can go out for a walk today. Yeah. Versus, like if you had eaten like something trashy for lunch, you're like, oh, I don't feel like walking today. I can just sit at home.
Well, I look at it like being tight and being open, right? Tight is like anger. You ball your fist up, you're rigid. It's hard for you to take. You can't hold nothing in a tight fist. You see what I'm saying? But if you open your hand, you can receive the blessing. So if you run around with a tight, everything tight, you ain't gonna be able to see the beauty that's going on around you. You're not gonna be able to see stuff, bro. I was on this path yesterday. I caught a flat, right? Had to walk out of here. Was pissed off. I was deep, way off track. Like, you know what I mean? I had to walk it back. I'm mad, right? I'm walking it back. I'm steady kicking and screaming on my way back. Humbug, right? On there, me and the homie, he got his bike, he riding. He keeping up with me, being a fair man, right? And I looked down, I said, yo, bro, look, $10 bill right here. So I said, look at that. So, was it worth the $10? You know what I mean? With the little flat tire worth the $10, like the universe said, I'll pay you back, bro. You know what I mean? I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
They gonna dime on me. You know what I mean? Like, damn, that's crazy. But I wouldn't have got that had I still been out there with a full tire running around. You know what I mean? And even if I was on my way back, I would have just slipped by. You never even had this speed. So now when you looking into the $10 bill, it's a mathematical equation for the two things happening, for these two moving parts to be united. There's a force that went into that. And I'm here as the vehicle in it going, wow! I'm able to see the math that went into that probability of this, and I have to be aware to also see it to receive the blessing. This is fucking amazing. Remember, locked hand, open hand. You see what I'm saying, bro? Had I been on, would have had seen it. You understand?
Now you're doing too mad in your head.
Exactly. And on keeping it all the way authentic, I was only complaining because I felt like I was slowing down the homie. I don't mind walking by myself. You see what I'm saying? But I was only doing that so I don't seem like. But I'm really saying thanks, bro, for doing this with me. I'm gonna pretend I'm god damn it. You know what I mean? But I don't really care for real. You know what I mean? But he's walking with me, so I'm advertising this man like we both could be riding if I'm at my joint had it been the one that's flat. But I don't really care. You know what I mean? But but I'm just doing shit to be whatever. But in my mind, I know the code already, bro. Don't get into this. Like, you see what I'm saying? Exactly. So then affirmation, here go a $10 bill. So there's no way, even if I was being authentically angry, there's no way now. There's no way. You still angry, bro? You see what I'm saying? There's no way. And bro, it was on some green grass. It wasn't in this concrete, it was on some green grass. So now, if I go even further and say the universe gave me it. It wasn't even on the man-made part of it, bro. It was on biological material, bro. You see what I'm saying? It was given to me by the universe, bro. Do I sound crazy? You see what I'm saying? Nah, does it matter if I sound crazy or not? No, somebody drop that. Scientifically, we can go in there. But spiritually, what is it? It just equals out to what it equals out to.
And you know what? It's funny because like you have that duality always, right? You can choose to take it logically, rationally, scientifically, or spiritually, humbly. You know what I mean? Like with a student attitude. It's just like you said, it was on the fucking biological part. Like it could have been on the concrete, but it wasn't. You know, like and it could have been on the concrete for somebody else, but for me, it wasn't.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
It's there's a quote that talks about coincidence, and it was Albert Einstein. I think he said coincidence is like God's way of showing you, like that the universe that cares about you, or something to that effect. Right. And that's what I'm telling you, man. Like the deeper I get into science, the deeper, because bro, I'm telling you, I love science. When I was in high school, bro, I did chemistry, physics, AP biology, like all that stuff. And I love it because it's just like, wow, I get to see how, the universe works. Right. And that's a blessing.
Hell yeah.
Dude, like, you know how many species there are? Like, even right now, like, around us, there's billions and billions of microorganisms just living, doing their thing.
Yeah. Remember I told you God is a microscopic agreement.
Yeah, bro. And it's just like, it's crazy. Like, we have so much around us, and we choose to There's another quote that I'm thinking of. It was a meme actually. It was like, wow, we as humans had the ability to create literally anything we wanted, and we decided on money, credit, and debt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just like dumb shit.
And hatred.
Yeah,
and
you know, like we
but
can
see,
choose anything we
all
want.
right, I like that right there, right? You said humans created, right? Now, and the crafters of our reality, the makers of our matrix, right? You're going to get words to describe things, and this is how me and you are going to know what we're talking about from the description placed on said thing, right? So now, when you're dealing with an original language, right? It's called Semitics. It's beautiful. It's not here to offend. As the language gets out of the Semitics and it goes into different areas of it to suit someone or something, right? Yeah. So now you get the term human, which has the word man in it. So you get human, mankind, and man, right? And all three of them are in full operational, but to those who don't know, we will loosely refer to each of them as loosely as a man, a human, or mankind, or form of mankind, right? So now, the construction of human has the word hue and man. Hue, H-U-E, which is without the E, pushed onto human, makes it human. Hue meaning color or tint, placed next to man, meaning a man of color or tint. A white man is absent of color, makes it him a kind of man. Then there is a man in between who's doing the distinguishing. There's always a threefold factor for peace. That's the Holy Trinity. There's always a threefold factor once you want to find the peace in the equation. They say money is the root of all evil. I beg to differ. The root of all evil is the spirit that occupies that dollar. So now you see the Father, the dollar, the Son, the cent, the Holy Ghost, the man that's operating the dollar. Simple.
Very, very interesting perspectives.
Man.
The reason I say that is because I don't know the etymology of human, but there's this thing called Proto-Indo-European, which is the earliest form of language that we had. I don't want to say as humans, like as a total species, but in Eurasia, so Europe, Africa, and Asia. Europe and Eurasia. Yeah, Eurasia is just Europe and like the Middle East and Asia. So you can find literal traces of, and this is like I know this because I'm studying languages. You can find traces of the same Semitics, grammatical structures, and everything inside of all these different languages, from English all the way down to Hindi, and most languages in between.
Yeah, but so that's all right.
So I'm saying I don't know the etymology of human, but it does come from Proto-Indo-European.
Right.
And it means something.
Whoa. See, that right there, even that phrasing right there.
Proto-Indo-European.
Yeah, I was a bar. That was even constructed by a European. That phraseology, those pairings of where to put that vowel, where to put that consonant, that is a alchemical. This is not just a person thing. This is a group of people sitting down, rushing out, not rationing out other constructions of it to strike the way it needs to be. This has rules that were in the play into that right there.
So proto means like
original.
Beginning,
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And Indo means Indian.
Or indigenous. But go ahead.
No. Just
Indo means Indian?
Indo in this one specifically means Indian.
All right.
And then
right.
Proto-Indo-European.
Let's stop real quick though. What is Indian? Who called? You see what I'm saying, bro? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
you got it. There you go.
These words are loaded.
There you go.
We're trying to talk about 6,000 plus years of history.
Right.
using like things that are built up of 4, 5, 6 different syllables.
There you go. But
like,
but trust me, no, it's not.
Hard.
No, it's not once you know what to look at. Because when I said Indo meaning this, the truth can be maintained at any frequency. So you got the truth and you speed it up and hyper accentuate it, it's still the truth. Right. But when you got a lie, it's only a lie in the setting. Once you do more to it, it changes it. Oh, it's a nice ha. So you realize it's not something is lying here. right? So I just told you that you said Proto-Indo-European. Right. Then I said Indo meaning indigenous. You said, oh, it means Indian in this regard. But I'm saying Indian means indigenous, right? From any regard. You see? But you're still looking at it from the white man's perspective, who's labeling the people there first, who's indigenous to the land, as Indian.
No, but I'm talking about in this specific.
But, right, that's the setting.
I'm talking about the continent of India.
Oh.
That's what I mean.
Right.
In this specific instance, I'm talking about Proto-Indo-European.
Do you think that the people in India will call themselves Indian?
Hell no. That's just what we call them in English.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's because that's the English. It's the limiting. But that's what I'm telling you too. I'm like, we're trying to talk about all these different things with such limiting, language.
I'm letting you know that word itself came from European. No, the Proto-Indo that they try to make it look like it's a global thing came from European. The word itself to describe that came from my arrogant ass. Out of the light.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. I'm not,
right.
But
what side are you though?
I'm not on any side.
You have to be, bro. You're not part of the side who does not have imagination. You're not on that side. You're not in the caster's seat, bro. You're not the one casting the matrix. You're not making the matrix a reality for other people. You're reacting to the matrix that's being forced down on you. Which side are you on?
I'm on my side.
That's a good answer to say.
Listen, the best way I can, the best way I move forward.
Know.
Yeah, I mean the best way I move forward is just, constantly learning and constantly improving and just communicating personally with God. Like I pray and meditate.
All right, how about
do all my stuff.
Watching the movie The Matrix, were you rooting for Neo or were you rooting for the machine?
I was definitely rooting for Neo.
So which side are you on?
Spirituality.
Yeah, he's learning. Jesus Christ. Damn.
To pull it out of me.
Right.
Sometimes I'm not on the right stream.
Yeah.
I knew what you're asking.
Yeah. See, because they got you thinking that, I'm a peaceful guy. I don't want no this. I don't see no drama. All this. But it's clearly a war. It's clearly a full-fledged attack against you. This period. Even without the white man, nature was our first nemesis. Yeah. Like, you see what I'm saying? That was the first thing that we had to beat. Yep. Then there's the nature outside and there's nature inside. Yep. And as we as men right now are trying to beat our own nature to become better men. Yep. And you can't keep falling to it. And the matrix makers is making sure that your lower nature keeps winning. What side are you on? It shouldn't be a hard question. You should at least say on the high side of my nature. Like, whatever the fuck, some other stuff, whatever you want to phrase it, pick the side that said that I ain't falling for they shit. Yeah. You do what I'm saying? That Indo-European prototype of blogger, which all that shit was letting me know is coming from the queen, reporting to the queen. It's agents working for the queen, running back to the queen, and the queen is now labeling that natural phenomenon through her sick satanic tongue, bruh. And I'm gonna play their language game. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I say that word itself, I don't want to sound like I'm cutting you off, but I'm letting you know that word itself was made and cast out by them. And inside, it's so jam-packed of it. It's like going through their shit and seeing corn and lentil and black eye and all that. You know what I mean? You're seeing all the stuff that they ate to make this turd. So we just playing this shit right now. You see what I'm saying? And that's all it is, bro. And that's when you really get down to it, man, you're going to find yourself avidly want to be on the truth side. And not the people who's imitating the truth and they imitate the truth a little bit. They tell you how to lie. Every good lie has a seed of truth in it. They tell you that like that's how you tell it. They give you the manuscript how to do it. This is how we do it. Every good lie has a seed of truth in it. They will never catch on. They would get to the truth and hang up on the truth, and then all the other stuff, we just walked you down. And that's how it's based. So now gravity. I could beat gravity up all the time. It fits in a setting. And once you hyper-exaggerate that same setting, gravity changes. And now you got new rules for gravity. Wait, new rules. You're like, wait. That doesn't make any sense.
Like how?
Because they density. You can I had this on other videos, but you can replace gravity with the term density, and then you can hyper exaggerate that scenario, and density with that law would still carry. But you know what I mean? All right. In a nutshell, the world is round, right? Okay. Then from that roundness, this is where we get the whole gravity thing to justify water being stuck to the bottom of the earth with other human beings. You see what I'm saying? There's people who on top, from our point of view, I'm on the north side of the earth where it's up, where gravity's working this way. So logically, if it's round, Even on the left side, the extreme left, there's people walking sideways. They ain't slipping down from the downward force of things, right? Then the people underneath who's being stuck to me, which is upward, because they're underneath. You see what I'm saying? Then while that's happening, it's holding thousands of gallons and billions of gallons of water stuck. So this is a force that's strong enough to hold all these gallons of water to the surface of the earth. And while that's happening, a little kid is blowing a balloon, a bubble. And that bubble is just floating unhinged from gravity. A butterfly is flying against this big, gigantic force that's holding all these gallons of water down. But this butterfly is flying right through it like, what gravity? You know what I mean? It's people throwing balls that's way less than them gallons of water. We throwing the ball. I'm jumping and coming back down, defying that same force that's holding these thousands of gallons of water to the bottom of the earth, bro.
Well, so...
But once you understand the law of density, remember I'm taking one, I got to replace it with something else, right? Yeah. I just eradicated density, gravity. Whether you agree with it or not, we just eradicated it, right?
Boom. I'm trying to understand it though, because
and then I replace it with you're gonna understand it once it spins around in 360, right? Okay. So now we put density in there, right? And density states that if you are heavier, if you are denser, then you're medium. You're gonna go below the medium. Yep. So now you see the bubble. And the bubble is not as dense as the medium in which it exists in, hence the reason why the bubble is not restrained by the same force that's keeping the water stuck to the thing. Nothing to do with gravity. You see what I'm saying? So now we can hyper-exaggerate that shit, take it somewhere else, and then it doesn't make any sense.
But density does have everything to do with gravity.
Density. Yeah. Density is all it's about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's it. There's no gravity. They're going to that's what I'm saying. But when you go to that round earth theory, it only works with gravity. It can't work with density.
Well, because I'm trying to...
Because a lie begets a lie begets a lie. This is the first part of it. To get you off your... This is the first seed. Remember I'm saying every good lie has a seed of truth. So now this is that first seed of truth that you're stepping on, and then you push you into the lie. And now you trying to figure out which part of it was the seed again, and you trying to hold on because it was this one tiny piece that was the truth. Now the big part that you're trying to hold on to is lie, bro. You holding on to that, and you trying to come back with it like, wait. But I'm like, nah, that's not the truth. Wait, let's argue for this. No, that's all part of that. That's all that. You're going to keep stripping it down. You're going to get... So here? Yes. What are you going to call that? Density. And you can run that through your gauntlet. You can put that same density into your spirit and say that you got lower density spirit, higher density spirit. Not no gravity. What the fuck? It doesn't work there. It doesn't work here. That means it's trash. Get it the fuck out my face. My name Murk, by the way, man. Holla at Shakwala. You already know what's going on.
All right, the way I understand gravity is just as a force, not as a
law or a principle.
So yeah, that's different. I'm talking about the force. So like if
that's the seed.
So because I want to touch on 2 points. One, so you believe the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. 2, the whole thing with gravity is just that when you talk about the universe, right? The universe is, you can think of it like a blanket, right? So when you have things inside of that blanket, right? The Earth, for example, it's on something. There's a convection, or it concaves into something, right? That's the reality of the universe. Like that's literally, yeah. So this is how I'm explaining it. So it's the reality of the universe, right? And when things sit on that, right, it creates a force that draws it to it. So, you're saying that why? I'm trying to understand what you were saying with that the round Earth theory only works when there's gravity. Because
you got to justify the water being stuck to the bottom of the Earth.
Bottom of the Earth, meaning what? Like how
prospectively, obviously, wherever you think you're at on the globe, you're gonna assume it's the top part of it, right? Because you can't right. You don't know what part you want. But if we were keeping points now, right? And if we were keeping points, they say, well, let's say we the north, just for the sake of conversation, right? We on the north side, and then we have a telephone and whatever else, and someone's supposedly on the south side of this globe. Right, that means they're underneath us, or vice versa. Whoever you want to be, whichever one you want to be, we on the opposite side. So that means gravity has to be working in one direction for this to be real, and the other direction for that to be real. You see what I'm saying? So when they give you this round Earth theory and the Earth floating around in nothingness, right? And you have to make this make sense in your mind's eye. So as they do this to you, as they take 1 foot off the ground, And you say, wait, how am I gonna? And you say, oh, don't worry about it. And they take the other foot on the ground. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense because the thing and it's spinning and yeah, all right. And then people, bro, I'm telling you, that is when I tell you about the math class, the religious class. Everybody walks out like, well, that's not what I got from it. Well, that's not what I got. That's what's going to happen with the round Earth jump, bro. You don't even know what you believe in, bro. Not you per se, but I could argue this shit so all with everything you're saying. I could argue that, like, well, they said this. And you're like, for real? Yeah, they said it. And it just keeps on, And then once you break that, boom, and replace that with that, boom, a whole new reality that you can hyper exaggerate that does not lose its integrity, its character, its stance like it had when it was on the base, and that it just only being more magnified when it's on the higher point of your understanding of it. So miss me, man. I can't keep prescribing to their dense lies. This is how you keep a zombie a zombie. This is how you keep a fool a fool. This is how you keep them that way. You have them wasting many moons just trying to get this shit together. That is the Tower of Babel. That's where that shit come into. So that's the seed. That's all the seed. That's what I'm saying. Start one seed, one little truth, one little speck of truth is in this big pack of lies. And you got to have the eye to look for that one thing. Big. And then have another thing, look for another piece. Big. And then you start to construct your own reality based off the hidden truth, the occult knowledge. Occult meaning hidden. But the truth, bro, the illest shit, bro. The illest shit, bro, that I would want to really be, some days, I want to be like dumb. Like, I want to be an Illuminati. I want to be the nigga. This level of trickery is so juicy. It's so, oh my God. Yeah, you know what I mean? I want to know, is this, how y'all get there? Like, what? I want to get this so I can break it, but I want to get there just to see if it's really what? This shit is, that's what I'm saying, bro. Bro, these is books that people are writing with their now. There's people wasting their now for however long talking about all this stuff that you think you know. Bro, listen, man. There's Webster's dictionary. That's a European standardized way for you to use the words of your matrix, right? And then there's the book called the Black's Law Dictionary. This is a law book, and just so happened, like Webster, they're called Black. Like their last name must be Black, so it's called Black's Law Dictionary. Well, there's the irony there somewhere, but well, you leave that for yourself, right? When you thumb through that book, any word, pick any word. I'm gonna help you out. Let's pick a couple words like fictitious person. Let's pick person. Let's pick straw man. Let's pick entity. Let's pick business. Do you know if you look up the word business, fictitious person, straw man, they're going to say see person? The word fictitious person is the same as person in a legal dictionary.
Where, in Webster's?
No, Black's Law Dictionary. Now, which dictionary runs what goes on? The Webster's dictionary or the Law Dictionary?
I'm not sure.
The Law Dictionary. Because we go to court to settle points. You understand what I'm saying? Never once did I ever go to court and seen the lawyer pull out the phone and say, Google, tell me this. Why? That's what fools have.
They have a rule book.
They got their own book with their own jargon, their own wordage. There's words, bro. Fictitious person and person mean the same thing, bro. Business, entity, they all mean the same thing, bro.
Business and entity?
Business, entity, fictitious person, straw man, they all mean the same thing. Once you get to one definition, if you get to that one definition, it's going to say person. Person means da-da-da-da-da-da. Then when you look up, okay, fictitious person, it's going to say see person. Then you're going to say something else, straw man, you're going to say see person. You're going to be like, what? How is these one fictitious person? Fictitious already means fake. Fake person. A straw man, another fake person. Nothing that's not real, and the person is that same thing. So we talked about human being, mankind, kind of man, all that. We talking about these stuff, bro. This thing is not to be trifled with. Just because you don't know and you run around with this lovey-dovey and this and that and all that, that does not mean that the crafters of this reality is operating like that. And it is very imperative that the more of us can hurry up and see how they are slithering around right in front of you, bro. They slithering around right in front of you, bro. America is a big, green, mossy, greasy rock that when you flip it up, you see all types of big-eyed, blood-sucking, pedophilic, sick nature. They don't want you to be. They don't want to explode. They dig it into the dirt and they scurry in. You just see this pulsing, nasty looking, gelatinous, just trying to hide under more shit, bro. And this every time we uncover America, every time America uncovers itself, you see more of the sinister nature. And we went through the very first stages of it. We call slavery, and that was like 400 years and probably still counting of unadulterated mind fuckery. And then while that was happening, that nigga said, "Give me the animals." Right? He is the reason why certain shit is not sharing the earth with us now. He is the reason, not me and you, not human. That's what made me start talking about you. Say, oh, humans this, human that. No, there's someone that is amongst the humanity species that is not operating on humanic time. They are not a human. They are some kind of mankind. There is something mimicking us, and parasitical nature is at full play. And once you have somebody who is willing to kill amongst the collective, he would rise to power. Who is the most powerful group on the thing? And they're the most killers, sinners, and sickest people that we know today, man. That's the culprit right there. You see what I'm saying to you? I put it on my other joint, who's running this reality. I put it up there with Donald Trump as a murderer, bro. Is a murderer by the, bro, you do not know evil. You do not know money, and you do not know evil. So when that comes together in a marriage, you don't know the baby that comes out of that.
Oh, I can only imagine, though.
Bro, he literally said it on TV, bro, in front of Kanye Jones. This was the illest blowover. I put it on my other video, and I'm going to probably have to put it in here again because I'm talking about it. He says, we was going to go to war with Syria, but I got off the phone with Obama, and we're not going to war no more. He said literally millions of lives saved. Millions. That means every other time they bomb ISIS, bro. So that means those same millions that you just talked about. Push the button. Those are million souls that left that day by some other human. You want to tell me? Come on, bro.
It's fucked up, bro.
1 million souls, bro. How do you come on? You can't tell me this.
But shit like that happens every day, bro. Because that's just us in America. Imagine what happens in other countries. Like, it's just so much of it. But there's good people out there. That's why, like, you doing stuff like this, man, you're going to find your audience. And I eventually would like to do something like this as well. Because the way that we can fight it, brother, is by uniting together, even though we have different perspectives.
Right.
Because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
That's what I was talking about, the different perspectives. That perspective goes back into that Big Bang Theory that I was telling you about. You are a particle of that Big Bang Theory. Mm-hmm. You represent, that's why no matter what it is, you are having that human experience from that projection, from that catapulsion from the explosion. And anything that can happen, that's why it went in every direction. It occupied every space zone and went through there with ferocity and life and time, a time to shine and a time to fade and a streak to be made. You see what I'm saying? All that's us. That's human. Is a human being. Now the other part of human being is the being part. Your being is an active, is an ing. That means it's constantly bubbling, it's constantly unfolding, it's constantly searching for itself, it's constantly looking for its perfection point. You see what I'm saying? So you're never ever going to fit into anything because once you got the being part on there, you're always constantly but then that being part of you can be manipulated by other intelligent forces that share that frequency of that being that's connected to the human. That being that goes into you, that takes root from your Holy Ghost. Remember, I told you about the Holy Ghost. So now it doesn't just work with the dollar, it works with the food. Because it's the seed, the food, and then you, the Holy Ghost. So they go the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. When you put this shit inside your body, when you put it paired with your Holy Ghost, you react what it told you to react like. Then somebody said, damn, what's wrong with Main Man? So he on that crack. See, we got his Holy Ghost. And they went to their laboratories and took the most strongest, regalest, perfect specimen known to the earth and made them act like that via a chemical. Don't tell me what they could do. That's not no human that did that. I beg to differ. You know what I mean?